Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Deltarune Chapter 5 is releasing really soon. It's honestly kinda crazy that we're this close to its release. So I wanted to release a collection of thoughts and predictions I wrote a while back, shortly after the release of Chapter 3 and 4. I don't believe every single one of these with the same amount of certainty. If anything, I wanted to talk about all of them, then reflect after to see how much I currently believe in them. I guess to leave a concrete time capsule of my thoughts at the time of Chapter 3 and 4's release, and, the whole Chapter 3 and 4 era as a whole before Chapter 5 releases and completely changes everything we know. Before we start, drop whatever predictions you've got in the comments. Let's have a discussion before the big day, and if you like what you've seen today, drop a sub and drop a like if you liked it. Without further ado, enjoy the video. First things first, battles are going to give us ideas that we never got in Undertale. So we got Spamton Neo in Chapter 2 because we never got Metaton Neo. We got a Gerson fight. Originally I thought we might see a Pacifist Sans fight in Chapter 5. Definitely not a Shadow Crystal battle. I think a lot of people hear that you want Sans to have a boss battle in Deltarune and they automatically think that you want a Shadow Crystal battle. I'm not like that. I think maybe a fun separate secret boss for Sans, something like a Mike battle where it's not entirely, important. But I think the anniversary did well enough to give fans a pacifist version of Sans in battle form, and I still think Chapter 5 will give us a battle idea that we never saw, that being Asgore not holding back. In Undertale, we knew Asgore was really holding back in his battle, so this time around, I think we're going to see Asgore be so desperate to prove himself that he really won't hold back when we fight him. To add on Asgore, I think he will be the main boss of the chapter, but not the main villain of the chapter. Naturally, as the knight is all but guaranteed to be there, but I also think we most likely see Friend there. We know Asgore is in possession of a black shard, or at least that he knows what one is. We know that he's seen some shit, and we know that Asgore, based on the prophecy, is supposed to be the next boss. So we know that Chapter 5 will be the Fields of Pink and Gold, and with an, charred in an inferno of jealousy, all roads seem to point towards Asgore's flower shop being the Dark World. I've seen some people say that there might be a festival Dark World. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the main part of the chapter. I can see maybe like a hometown Dark World ending the chapter and being cut off, but I think the main Dark World of the chapter will be Asgore's flower shop. I just can't see any hometown Dark Worlds happening until the Roaring. That's when you're gonna see a bunch of Dark Worlds. I think they're gonna hold off on that, and I think Asgore is gonna die by the end of the chapter. I just feel it in my bones. I really hope not, because I love Asgore. But I can't see Chapter 5 not ending in a tragedy. And I think Asgore will be so desperate to prove himself that in the end it will literally be the thing that kills him. Maybe Rudy might die. I feel like Rudy's less likely to die because at this point you can just never interact with him. So maybe we're gonna have some required Rudy dialogue. Or I guess you had to interact with him in Chapter 4, but I still feel like that wasn't really enough to give people who have never seen him. Okay, back on a lighter tone, I think the secret boss of Chapter 5 will use the Blue Soul mode, and going by the past 2 times we've had Soul modes in Deltarune, it has to be an upgraded version. In the Yellow Soul mode we saw the Big Shot, Charge Blast, and in Green Soul mode we saw it go from 4 directions to 8. Blue Soul mode is pretty easy to predict since it's a jump, it's like a platformer Soul mode. So naturally, when you have one jump, I could see one of 3 things. You could change the way the player jumps by, instead of having you hold up, you press a button, and that way you could hold down the button to give a charge dump. You could also very easily just do a double jump, but I don't think that's as fun as a charge jump. Or, what I think would be the coolest and provide the most creative route would be a directional jump boost mid-air. Again, by pressing a button. So maybe you jump with the up arrow and then you press X to boost through the air. I think that would be really cool. And to continue with the soul modes, I think Purple Soul will add vertical and diagonal. Like I can see them switching during moves. And just to clarify, I don't think the purple soul will be used in Chapter 5. Unless maybe they're like vines. I could see that actually. Like a vine attack. But I do think we're going to see the blue soul mode. I know that this is mainly Chapter 5 predictions, but I just wanted to cover every remaining soul type just in case I'm wrong about Chapter 5 being blue. So that was my thoughts on purple soul. Orange and light blue Amphion, because they could totally appear in Chapter 5. I think they're probably more likely than purple, because Asgore is the only fight in Undertale to use light blue and orange attacks. The only one. We don't talk about any others that have it. So I could see him using orange and light blue attacks, but the problem is that they're just moves, they're not soul modes, so how do you really upgrade them? Like every other soul mode had upgraded versions without changing them, overall. I don't think you can really change light blue and orange attacks. The only way I could see them is if they actually did end up making orange and light blue soul modes, which would be fucking awesome. That would be such great fan service, and I would love that. But I don't think we're going to see them, unfortunately. I think, like, if anything, we're just going to get the normal attacks. And to finish off on the soul modes, I think eventually we're going to finally see an official battle that switches between multiple soul modes. Like, it'll use red and yellow and green and purple, like multiple, not just red and another. I wanted an official fight to use more than just red and another for so long. Maybe we won't see it in Chapter 5. We probably won't see it in Chapter 5, but it would be such a missed opportunity if we don't do it once during Deltarune. Like, come on, Toby, you gotta do it. And speaking of souls, it's clear that the flowers are totally not shaped like another evil flower you may have heard of. All happen to be the colors of the souls in Undertale. I can't wait to see what darkeners these will be. I think ideally they would all encapsulate their own separate darkeners with different personalities that kind of reference the humans from Undertale. This one I found on Twitter perfectly encapsulates what I think would be really cool to see. To finally give the fallen humans equivalent characters would be amazing. And I could very easily see that golden flower being reserved for a secret boss. We already know that an Omega Flowey bullet pattern, the one using the knives from the light blue soul, will appear in Chapter 5. Maybe that's from a battle with the light blue flower. As for the weird route, we know that it has to continue here in Chapter 5 based on the Spamton sweepstakes. Once we obtain all the shadow crystals thus far, we will presumably make a pure crystal. We could see that in Malleus's menu, there's a twisted sword item that is created using the thorn ring and this unknown pure crystal. So currently the only way to presumably make this twisted sword is to abort weird route, and then we'll have to make it after getting the pure crystal. But I really don't think that's going to be the case. I think in the weird route, we'll continue with Noelle, and it's important to note that Noelle will be going to the festival with us in weird route. And I think it's the way we take her to the Dark World, otherwise she won't be there. And we will continue the weird route with her. Maybe we'll see her in the cloak, hooded like it is in Mantle Quest. And to also reference the Mantle Quest to support this idea of the Twisted Sword, I think we will use the Twisted Sword to kill Darkeners before they can run. Because in the sword route, we have to kill tons of enemies to get stronger. We're probably going to need to have a way to actually kill enemies in the game, by using a sword, like shown in the games. It seems strange to make an item that's like specifically unique to an aborted weird route, and I think it's all but confirmed that Chapter 4 will lock you into the weird route. I think Chapter 4 is the last chapter that will be more or less the same during weird route. I think Chapter 5 is going to be significantly different in the weird route, and it'll only continue to derail. I know there's a theory going around that weird route ends at Chapter 5, and I disagree. I think we only saw up to Chapter 5 because, well, that's all the sweepstakes show. You gotta remember, originally it was supposed to be 3, 4, and 5 together, so I doubt that they're gonna show anything from Chapter 6 or beyond that early. I think it'll continue until the end. I don't think Deltarune is finished by Chapter 5 because of the weird route. It doesn't make any sense. By the end of the chapter, I think we will know the true motivations of Chris. I think we will know why they're working with the Knight. And since Asgore is the main boss of this world, we're going to hear a lot about their backstory. Especially when you consider that Root, which could be linked to something in Chris's past, is very very well could be a major plot point. I'm not sure if we're at the point of Chris speaking yet, but maybe. It's hard to tell. And I think Toby might want to wait on it because Chris speaking is a huge moment for the story. I don't think it's gonna happen until we're inevitably like permanently separated. Obviously, we're gonna see Ezreal again, and that's insanity. I don't think he'll be in the Dark World, but he will certainly be at the festival, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what he looks like now. That's mainly my predictions, all I could fit into like full ideas that I could talk about. I have a ton more of like one-off predictions, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video. Thanks for sticking around this far. Comment "I love Pippis" in the comments to prove that you watched the video, and I will respond. Make sure you drop a comment, talk about what your theory is, what your predictions are, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to play this and see what happens. Alright, take care guys.